at the end of this module, what I'm expecting is that you should be able to know principles, practice, and methodologies. Similarly, we should understand the difference between project, program, portfolio, and operations. This is important because we normally mess up with these kind of things. Then what is project life cycle? Anything which happens in our, like, student has got a course life cycle, course has got a course life cycle, student has student life cycle. So everybody have a life cycle in a particular engagement, and that we need to understand. Then we have 5 process groups which ensures the project management is been completed. So we will try to understand that. And the last but not is that how to develop a support system. Okay, because that's something which is required, and then we'll continue this into the next. What is an operations and projects? We have already discussed this. This is only a recap. What is that? Project is temporary, operations are ongoing. Project is unique, operations are repetitive. There is no change probably unless until there are minor changes, but not major changes. Whereas one project may not be again replicated in another way. There might be another different completely. Like we make one building as a contractor, the next building will be completely different. But we say that we are in road construction, so every day we have to make a similar kind of tar road. Whether it is made 1 kilometer today or 1.2 kilometer tomorrow, it doesn't matter. The road remains same, the process remains same, the method remains same. But in the case of building as a project, every project is a new project for me because the design is new, the method is new, the structural ideas, I mean, the way that it has been, I'm saying constructed, need to be constructed is new, technology, material is new. So everything is unique and new. Okay. Project end with objectives. So if we had said that this building should look like this, building should have all these amenities and this and that and this quality and the life of 40 years or 50 years and all, it is actually ensured when we do a project. But repetitive project, ongoing project has got a very temporary quality parameters. Okay, those has to be passed. Rest all are consider once we are past that. So they do not have an end objective as we met, because there is no end objective. There are intermediary milestones. Okay, that is called as milestones, not an end objective, right? So to define a little higher level now, program is a group of related projects, subsidiary program and program activities managed coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individual program. Management focus, interdependency of project, describe the best approach. So let me explain this to you. This is a definition. This material is with you. You can read it again. So let's take our classic example. We are talking about portfolio as a smart city, program as a metro rail. And in metro rail, there are some part which are going underground, some part which is on overhead, some part going on a road, somebody is working on to. So these are multiple projects. There are different road patches where different set of people are working. So they have the small project of drilling from Dadar to probably, to whatever, you call it as Sion. So, that patch is given to somebody. So his project lies from drilling from Dadar to, this Matunga or whatever it is, which we have defined. That's it. So he don't really have to worry about what is happening in other projects. That is none of his business. Then there is somebody who is a program owner, which is called as Metro Man or Metro CEO, which is IS officer, which will manage 20 projects like this across Bombay. Okay, that is something. So the project which is actually happening at the ground level, okay, that is called as a project which is of specific length, specific time, start date, end date, budget, resources. So that's called as one project. Somebody may have to build a bridge, or somebody will have to drill a hole, but that's a project. What is the program out of this? Is a metro rail, which is going to happen. So they got 6 different paths coming from different areas, and then going, and for making this 6 paths they require 200 projects to be executed so that the program will be completed. Now they know exactly planning which to be start now and which to be start later. Now it's a rainy season, so no drilling here. Let's start building bridges. All this planning is happening at the program level. Which project to start when and which to be offered to whom. with what budget, what timeline, what constraints. And beyond this, there is something what is known as a portfolio, that is a smart city, whose smart city has envisaged that in the next 20 years, I will have metro running, I will have train running, I will have electric cabs, I will have electric scooters, I will have all this, I will have integrated communication facilities, I will have rail and train connectivity, rail and cab connectivity, rail, cab and hotel connectivity. All this is something which they have dreamed now, but they have started as a small project. So somebody is building metro, somebody is building e-cars, somebody is building e-transportation, somebody is working on roads. Then the whole idea, what we call as a portfolio of smart city, will be executed. So portfolio is collection of projects, programs, subsidiary portfolios, operation managed by the group, and achieve the strategic objective. So this is like a smart city. So always this part should come and fit. So somebody will be working on health area, somebody might be working transportation, somebody will looking on say accommodation, then all these kind of financial work, then bankers, economics, labor, skill development, education, training. All this is a part of the larger project, so larger portfolio. Project phase deliverable. See, when I say deliverable, we need to understand. See, project cannot come with feeling or with an experience. We cannot say after this project is completed, the Pune will look like a wonderland. So what is wonderland? I don't know. People want to know what means by wonderland, what will happen. Then you will have to say, no, we will plant 3 crore plants. We will have, metro. We'll have all roads to 9 meters. So there will be no. Then we'll have parking zones. Then we'll have smart cities. Then we'll have free Wi-Fi. Then we'll have everything online, all utility services online. Then we talk about measurable deliverables, which can be really given. But if we do not have this, then we are not talking about phased deliverables. So in fact, what we are saying is that whatever are the total deliverables in the project, we should cut them into phases. What will happen in phase 1? What will happen in phase 2? What will happen in phase 3? If there are only 3 phases. Then we should also deliver, when I say phase 1 mein ye ho jayega, that means what milestones I need to list down. So when I say phase 1 will be completed, people are asking me, okay, then tell me what I need to check at the end of the phase 1 that it is completed or no. Then I have to give them a list. I guarantee you that all what I'm writing here is something which is which will be called as milestone and which will be completed. When these all milestones are achieved, then only you call it as completion of phase 1. Completion of phase 2 and completion of the entire project in phase 3. This is a traditional old idea where there are not much techniques are being involved. This is the old PM project management, but important because this gives a basic concept of project ecosystem. What is project ecosystem? One is its processes. Why processes? No champion driven, no ad hoc, no something कि अभी मेरे मन में आ गया तो ऐसे ही करते. No, you don't have choice. It has to be process oriented, which has to be documented, which has to be followed strictly. No way. Like PowerPoint is a process oriented teaching. If there is no PowerPoint, I would have given you a lecture even more fluently, but I might have forget some points or might have probably drifted away from my main subject. So PowerPoint actually ensures that I don't move out from my subject. I remain there and I complete each and everything which I'm supposed to tell you. So no champion driven approaches, only process driven approaches. Then we require people who are competent, capable, skillful, knowledgeable, responsible, accountable. Then only the projects can be done. You have, like India have a project of creating vaccine. Now, can we say the designated Department of Education Technology will take a lead and create a vaccine? So you might be honest, but you might be sincere and hardworking, but you got no domain knowledge, you got no skill, you have no competencies. So how you will be able to do it? So you require also a set of people who are domain experts, who knows that, who are knowledgeable, who know tools, techniques, methods, the way that it is to be executed. Then we require tools. Now it is also come out with techniques also. It is not only tools but also a technique. For example, project management is there for thousands of years. As I said, even the Kailasa temple was built up by, or Taj Mahal was built up. Then they also had something what is known as the project planning. But they did not have a tool like MS Project. They did not have a tool like Open Project, or they did not have a tool like Prince 2. That doesn't mean that they were not doing project management. They were doing, but there were tools and techniques available. But now there is a techniques available. There are tools available, which definitely impact on cost, time, efforts on the project. So project management has got these three parts as an ecosystem. So processes, people, tools determine how the work gets done. But the importance is on a different parameter. For example, some people say that these are projects which are not tool oriented. These are the projects which are people oriented. Let's take an example of vaccine. Is it a tool oriented project? No, it is a human oriented project. It's an intelligent or knowledge oriented project. So every project may have these all three important, but it is not necessary that all three are equal. Sometimes processes are very important. Sometimes, like in the construction industry, my people are very smart and they can really work fast. So we can make one slab in one day and the other slab on the second day and third slab on the fifth day. But the process doesn't allow you to do that because slab curing time is 21 days. You cannot put another slab less than 21 days. So there are certain times there are processes are dominating onto the people also. Okay, their own strengths and weaknesses. So based on the project, we have to define what is possible and what is not possible, what is more important and what is less important. But all three are required. These are more slides for enhancing what I'm been saying. Okay, there are policies and procedures. Like suppose I have a process. For example, in India, we have a process of giving vaccine through our health ecosystem in the country. But now there is a new policy that it is to be given free. Now, the moment we say to be given free, then we have a very large number to address. We require planning to be done. It's like similar when we go to aircraft, for example. What is the process that you have what you call it? You have a ticket and you go there and it is get scanned and then you're supposed to go and accommodate onto boarding pass. You're supposed to go and accommodate on your seat. This is the process defined. But the problem is something different. All 340 people flock at the gate, nobody will be able to go. So what they are saying the first part which will go is seat number 1 to 10. Why? Because they have to travel a longer distance. So they, other people will not get disturbed because of them. So first they will send that lot. Then the girls and the pregnant woman, because they don't have to really kick 1,000 people and reach there. So then we have a second lot of people. Then we have a third lot of which are closer to the door. So all this is like policy. So policy plays over the processes to make the life simpler. So these are things which we will cover at the later stage when we'll go, but these are just to probably enhancing onto that. I already covered these things on this. So in the techniques now, I have not discussed much about. We are talking about tools. What is the tools that we can construct the bridges? We have to have a pillar. But what is new technique? New technique is a prefabricated, prefabricated. What I say, the portions need to be brought in on transportation and then to be loaded and attached to each other. So the life becomes simpler. So even in a very breezy road or very narrow road like Muhammad Ali Road, you can actually, have a bridge with 6 lanes. Can it be built there? No, it cannot be built there because there is no space. But then we have a technique that we have prefabricated bridges, which will be transported into pieces here, which will be just raised and locked in, and then we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then eventually we build a bridge. So these kind of models, techniques, these are not tools, these are techniques. Okay, so every business will have technique. For in your case, suppose we have something which is okay. I'm saying you have a tools which are like graphic tools like AutoCAD or something authoring tools. You know, we have something like 3D Studio Max or something of that kind. Now we have something which is a technique where you are storytelling Alexa, where you have an animated character, so you write in English and it will speak. So this is not, this is a technique. No? This will save your time to develop a content. Or you have a text to read engine, so which is readily available. So you don't have to really go to studio and record every sentence. You can just write, and let the sentence come in. So these are the different techniques which are beyond tools are being used, and that's really add value to the ecosystem. So we are talking about different 5 processes, because the whole business, project management is an integration of processes. So project manager is like the guy who take a stick and run an orchestra, where there is a process running. Somebody is playing violin, somebody is playing piano, somebody is playing tabla or some rhythmic this one, somebody is singing, and this guy decide who to play when and what. Okay, so project manager is actually managing a multiple processes and appropriate timelines and appropriate preparation and what they should perform during that particular time. That's something which is a role of project management. So what are these processes? These are like your AD design, which I'm sure that you must have learned. So first is initiating the process. Then we have initiating means getting approval, getting fund approval, getting convince the stakeholder, convince the team, arrange the resources, plan, do that. So arrange the resources in a sense, at least know that where the resources are, and are they okay, everything is within the constraint. So can we really handle this? Then we go to the next part, which is known as a planning process. Then they do the planning for time, for resources, for cost, for people. Then they start optimizing whether parallel threading should be done or parallel processing should be done or sequential processing need to be done, all that, locations, everything. Then we talk about something which is like executing. So once the planning is done till the last mile, or what we call the WBS, that work breakdown structure, WBS आखिरी बेलता है. So public बोलता है सर तुमको ताजमहल बनाने का क्या बनाएगा मेरे को नहीं मालूम. Tell me मुझे सुबह के उठ के क्या करना है, कल सुबह आके मुझे क्या करना है. So do I have a planning ready for that? Tomorrow your task is that you have to put a 200 bricks in this particular line and complete this wall by tomorrow evening. And your resources are available here. You should reach tomorrow morning 9 o'clock. Until evening, I will come and ensure that, I'll verify that you have built the wall with 200 bricks. That is an executive process. So this happens at every process, whether it is metro or whether it is construction or whether it is content development. The next part is monitoring. Law बना के problem खत्म नहीं होते. हमारे पास constitution है. Problem क्या है? We will have to continuously monitor whether people are following as per the constitution. If not, then we have to take a controlling action. We have to do the refinement if required in the constitution itself. But most of the times we have to really continuously monitor. So one of the major challenge, like in the country today, whose name has been now and often coming in for people's grievances and addressing people's issue, is PMO. That is Prime Minister's Office, what they call it, which is actually a project management office, which takes requirements from entire country, all the problems, people's sentiments, people's expectations, and then they put it into different projects, then they put it into priority, and then go to Prime Ministers and say that, sir, we need approval for this on high priority. And that's something what we call. That is why people say PMO office is really responsible for doing this. Yes, it is. Because they take the nerve of the society. Okay, and then finally is closing the project, which is equally important. A lot of time people do a lot of work, but they don't close the project, and then the cost starts escalating, the quality start deteriorating. So we have to close it, saying that my job is completed. These were the objectives. Please verify these objectives are completed. These were the budgets which are given to me. This is what my expenditure. We'll sit across and close it. Whether it is more profitable or some loss has occurred, something has happened, we'll discuss that. But let's close it now. Let's not keep it open. And that's something which we call as a close, So this is very logically self-explanatory. There is nothing much but important. This is for your homework, which I will cover next time. What I mean, now you know exactly what is project management, what is program, okay, what is portfolio. Then you also require 5 phases of it. You know the constraint, you know the characteristics. And now there are few slides which I'll show you now. In that below there are certain things which are written. Okay, I want you should really explore what is mean by that, like project charter, project initiation. So what is that in your opinion? Don't worry, you don't have to do Google and make a notes, and I'm not asking you, but I would start the next part with explaining, understanding from you about all these 5 phases. What are that? So the same 5 phases are repeated again in this particular 3 diagrams. So these 3 diagrams, I will request your faculty members to share it with you. You can study them. You can try to understand them. I will next time I'll discuss first this and then start the next part.